Since a century ago, some Malawians have moved from Malawi to the United Kingdom. Malawi is a country that is in the southern part of Africa. This movement of people from Malawi to the United Kingdom has been more influenced by the history of the country, since Malawi was a colony of Britain from 1891 up to 1964. Some of the people that have moved to the UK have settled in the northwest city of Manchester. As the saying goes, east or west, home is best. Most of these people have continued with their cultural practices that they brought from Malawi.
Wedding ceremonies and marriages in the Malawian cultural context, they are not very complicated as to say, but it's one of the institutions that in Malawi we regard as the beginning of the blessings that we experience in the families or where people come from. And most of the times we as Christians, we believe that the marriage is an institution that was instituted by God in the beginning of times, when he said, let us therefore make man in our own image and likeness, in chapter number 1 of the book of Genesis. Then in chapter number 2, when God saw that man was lonely, he says, let us make someone who is going to be a compatible helper for a man. And that's when I will begin marriage. And in Malawi, people, we do respect marriage. And most of the time when someone gets married in Malawi, they begin to change even the way they address the person. So it is a cultural belief that we have that when someone has gone into marriage, then that's the beginning of experiencing new blessings in their life. And again, the respect that is awarded to them is accordingly to what we would love to see married people having. In Malawi, we've got a couple of marriages that we identify ourselves with. The first one is which nowadays we call white wedding, which is a marriage that is blessed in the church. And then we've got a marriage that we normally refer to as a chinkhoswe, which is normally done between the parents of the bride and the parents of the groom, when they meet together and then agree that their children can get married or they can begin to live together. In some cultures in Malawi, they believe that that is the essence of marriage. So the two can be joined together and begin to live together. But when you look at the Christian value or the Christian belief and understanding of marriage, we believe that marriage is an institution that God has instituted, and it's a miracle that God does between two people that do not know each other, people from different backgrounds, people that have decided to come together because of love that exists between the two, and have made their promises even before God and men that they will live together for eternity. So those are two marriages that I really understand that they exist in Malawi. Although there are some of the marriages that sometimes they just spring from no one coming, or no relatives coming together, just two people agreeing that we can move together and stay together. Those people, we've seen people coming out as married people in that way. But it is also depending. It does also depend, on the people that are involved in that particular thing. It's a very, very fun and a very interesting question that you've posed to me. Marriage life is one of the most exciting things, because if there is something that is so exciting in life, beside all the things that maybe we enjoy, is marriage. Marriage is one of the best tools that God has given to the body of Christ, the tool that God has given us to enjoy. And to me, I've enjoyed married life with my wife, and we have seen the result of the blessings of God through the children. Besides that, we have seen that the two of us, we can work together as a massive force, and we can do a lot of things together, achieve greater goals together. And I've seen again that beside the challenges that we meet now and then, but when I've made the challenges outside my family, when I'm outside the home, when I come back from wherever I've been, when I go home, I've got someone else where I can put my head on and cry on and find some relief. So marriage is one of the things that I believe that God instituted marriage for us to enjoy. So I've enjoyed marriage for the past 15 years. I've been living in heaven on earth. The scenario of how I met my wife is really, really funny and very exciting. To be honest with you, I cannot lie to you that I met my wife physical at first, and I proposed to her, and we started dating all the stuff. No. What happened was I had a series of breakdown relationships in my life, and one of the days when I'd given up of maybe looking for a woman whom I should marry, one of the days I was sleeping, and then at night I had some confused dream, and I woke up, and some of my friends that used to stay with me were like, what's happening with Wilton? Because we know that Wilton, when he goes to bed, he sleeps, he wakes up in the morning when it's time for him to go for prayers. But what is happening with him? They couldn't understand, because I was totally confused. And when I was sleeping, what happened was I dreamed of a young lady whom I've never spoken to, but who used to come to our church, and who used to work, who used to help as an usher on the door. But I'd never spoken to her. I've never even sat down even to exchange greetings with her. I saw myself getting married with this lady, and I told this to my friends when I woke up the first time and even the second time, and they said, something is happening with you. Then after a couple of days, I gathered strength to see the young lady, and I proposed her. I proposed to her, but she did not accept me. For more than 6 months, I struggled to get a yes from her. I tried to use some elders to help out to reach out to her, but it couldn't work. So I started praying. Then one of the days, as I was praying, as I was in church, it happened that she came to church and she said, I want to talk to Wilton. And everyone was like, what's going on? Then when she spoke to me, she said, I think I've changed my mind about what has been happening. I want you and me to be partners and see how best we can live together. thereafter. So that's the way we began. But after some time, I went to propose to her, but in the presence of her parents, because that's what I believe that an honorable person should do. So since then, we've been together. It was in 2002 when I met with her. If I was advising someone on interracial, intercultural marriages, or even if I was advising my children, this is what I would say to them. I would tell them frankly that we are living in a different world compared to our world long time ago, because then it was really, really strange for people to find themselves intermarrying. But one thing that I do believe now is that the world has become one. We cannot run away from one another. And I would really advise that if they find that they've got love for one another, they can just begin to date. One funny thing is, I would say to my children or anyone else I'm advising, if they find that someone is touching their heart, not touching their body or their mind, but when somebody is able to touch their heart and be able to be convinced beyond reasonable doubt that that person loves them and cares about them, I think that's the best ground for them to get married, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their language, regardless of their educational background or their understanding of things around them. But if they too love one another, that's the basis of a good marriage. Interracial and intercultural, and interfaith marriages nowadays, they're really common. But to me, when I would be advising my children, when they come to that level where they'll be wanting to get married, one of the most important thing is when they come to me and tell me that, Dad, we find someone who feel that want to settle down with them. The first thing that I'll ask them is, are they born again? Are they Christians? Because the two cannot work together unless they agree. And I believe that the two people of different faith cannot be joined together. At the end of the day, they will end up fighting each and every day because of different understanding in their beliefs and their faith. But I would rather see them marrying the people of their own faith, because like that it will bring harmony in their family and there will be peace. I don't really mind if they get married maybe to a person who's of different race to them, because the world has become one now. It's no longer like the way it used to be long time ago, that when you see maybe someone from a certain country would say, oh no, this is a strange person, why are they getting married to them? But nowadays we can marry, we can intermarry, there's no problem with that. But the only challenge that I might have is the interfaith marriages, when my children brings to me someone who is of not their faith. I might find it very hard for them to get married to someone like that. My advice to the youngsters that are looking for someone on the social media would be, I believe that you can't find someone whom you love on the social media, because I don't think social media is there for you to find someone for marriage. But of course, I know that the world is changed. We're living in a changed world. We're living in a modern world. But still more, if you don't know the person, you might end up finding someone else who is not the right person for you, someone who has got maybe something else that will not even be a thing that will make you happy in your marriage. Because I've heard of people that have gone on social media, they ended up marrying someone else who who is a pedophile or who has got a criminal record. By the end of the day, they suffer. Why? Because they went on to search for their life partner on the wrong place. But I believe that you can find your partner, your life partner, from some other areas, not just from the social media. Social media is not for us to be finding one another for marriage. But I believe that you can find someone else who can change your life and make your life happy somewhere else, but not on the social media. Let me just give you this. It will be part of my testimony, part of my closing remarks. One thing that I do believe is that a life partner comes from God. It is God who gives us a wife or a woman. The Bible says, a virtuous woman who can find, she is worth more than rubies. Now, when the Bible says that God is trying to distinguish the person that you get when He has given you than the one that you find. I know that most of the times things that change nowadays, we find that now it's a different way. It's no longer a man who goes looking for a wife, but even young girls go out looking for a man to marry. They propose men. But that's not the plan that God has. The plan that God has is that a man should take the responsibility, because at the end of the day, if God just bring the woman to him, he will be able to blame God again the same way Adam blamed God that it is the woman that you gave me. But I believe that it's our responsibility as men to go out and find a woman, and then we can begin our courtship. One of the things that I've learned in life is that when you come to your lowest point in searching of a life partner, that's when God intervenes in your life. That's when God brings out something supernatural, something so special in your life that you may be able to appreciate Him and be able to enjoy life more than ever before. Because the one thing that I do remember of myself is that when I was deep down crying, accusing everyone around me that they have let me down, that's when God appeared to me and gave me a wife whom today I am able to cherish. She's so beautiful, very charismatic, very encouraging, very strong, and together we've got 3 children together, and God is really blessing us. And I believe that if a man who wants to get married will wait upon the Lord, then God will be able to meet them at the point of their need. It's not everything that comes in our life that comes from the Lord. The Bible says every good gift comes from the Lord. And I believe that when you want to experience God in your life, you have to wait for God's time. God's time is the best time, not our own time, because most of the time we try to rush things and we end up getting the wrong thing instead of what God has planned for us. And I believe that even as young people are looking for someone to marry, if they wait upon the Lord, God will give them the rightful person for them, and they'll be able to cherish one another, they'll be able to love one another, because life that we're living in is not a quick fix. You cannot just do things as quick as that. Or nowadays we say, oh, microwave miracles and stuff. That's not the way God works. God wants us to be able to wait and be able to produce out of us. It's just like the way gold or minerals are refined. Minerals, when they are being refined, they are exposed to great heat. Thereafter, you see the mineral being refined and is superb. Now, that's what God wants us to be doing, to wait upon Him. Then at the appointed time, we'll be able to see the goodness of the Lord as we live in this land. I believe that every young man has got someone whom God has prepared for them. And the only thing that we need is to wait upon the Lord. Then we'll be able to meet the one that God has prepared for us. And listen, guys, God has got something special. And the life that you enjoy in marriage, it is the life that you've never enjoyed before. Listen, it's a miracle that God does, bringing people that do not know each other together and making them to become one person. It's a miracle that no one can describe it. It is a miracle of God. Joining two people of different understanding to becoming one is a miracle. And I believe that God has a miracle for you.